Note to self, Bettman trumps Fuda.
All right, the Canadian picks, Goulet, Amarov, Holloway. What do you think?
Well, I love the Holloway pick. I think you get the speed that Kaz was talking about. The kid's, I think he's a very safe line player. If he hits, he's going to be able to play top six all situations.
And have just made their draft, so I know you're all watching that as well. Hey, Morris.
I call him Jim Palafidov. This guy spends more time in Russia than he does in
Bruce Lee.
He's unbelievable.
Hello, David Buchanan. I hope you are doing very well.
Anybody in the National Hockey League.
Kim is already on. Kim, hold on. You're supposed to wait a couple seconds.
Might have to work on his Russian, but
Kim's too fast, so I got to speed this up right now. That's Montreal Canadiens just made their draft pick. Caden Gooley will talk about that a little bit later. And tonight, throughout the show, our guest, which I don't want to wait any longer. Actually, I'll bring her on now, and I'll talk while she's on because I don't want to make her sit there. So I'll bring her on. But now she has to listen to me. So ladies and gentlemen, I have this big intro that I'm going to do for her, which you're way too quick. I was going to build this whole thing up and say some great things about you, but you're there. So let me just say them anyways and just take a second. So, I was actually going to say, but now I'm going to say it to you while you're there, but you know what? We're in this crazy world that we're kind of living in right now, and there's all these things that can kind of get us down. And Instagram's been great for me throughout this, 6-7 months of trying to find these little cool, fun moments that kind of put a smile on your face. And then there's a lot of, you can go to Twitter, you can go to a lot of other areas to find negativity, but there's a lot of fun stuff on Instagram. And just the other day, I was going through my feed, and I came along. Kim Gingras doing. She was doing kind of an ad-lib freestyle dance to a Janet Jackson song that just kind of put a smile on my face. And I've watched it. I swear to God, I watched it over and over and over again. So you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't hunt it down and watch it, because it's absolutely beautiful. So I'll let you say hi in a second, because I've still got one of my things, Kim, is I'm really proud of Montrealers. Like, it's one of my things that I love. Proud of Montreal. We're not a big city, but people from chez nous that go on and have success somewhere in the world, whether it's fishing, hockey, football, reading a book, or dancing. And the one thing that what I love about you is that you do something that we all do, but we just can't do it that well. It's one of those things that we all wish we could do better. It's one of those things at a wedding that, I have to have a drink before I go do it.
Right.
It's one of those things that, whether it's the sprinkler or the shopping cart or the Carlton, it's dancing. And you've had a crazy run from Montreal to LA to dancing with Beyonce to J-Lo to Gwen Stefani. It's an amazing story, and you're a beautiful person. So I'm really excited to have you on. So sorry for making you wait. I wanted to say some things about you, but thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited we get to chat.
I know. I'm actually like, so I was thinking, okay, I watched the video, and there's some of the things that I've watched, and I've gone through your Insta stuff, and I watched some videos, and the dancing thing is like, why can some people do it, and why do some people struggle so much at it? And why do we get embarrassed about it? Like, why do I get we're going to talk about she's actually created a mentorship platform, which we'll talk about later. But just for other people, but let's just say me. Why would I get nervous to go dance? And why would I need like a shot of tequila before I go dance at a wedding?
Why would you? I mean, who cares what people think? If it's going to be for fun wedding, I say go for it.
But you don't see, I have this thing about me being made fun of. And I have flat feet, and
Okay.
they're fat, and they kind of bump into each other.
Okay.
A little.
We can work with that. I'm sure
Okay.
we can do. Yeah.
Anyways, like crazy, like Beyonce, J-Lo, Gwen Stefani, like do you sit back and pinch yourself a little, like just to say like, hey, or while you were in it, was there a moment that you said,
Yeah.
this is it, this is awesome?
Yeah, of course. Many times it's just it's me live life with gratitude and remind myself of how lucky I am, opportunities and these doors that have opened for me. But I remember one of my first trips back home to Montreal after being in LA for a few months after I've moved there. I came back to Montreal and I'm driving my car here and I'm with family and friends, and a bunch of songs come on the radio and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just work with this artist and that artist too. And that's when it really hit me. Like I was home where I grew up, where I trained, and all of a sudden this whole career was really paying off, and I got to do these crazy dreams of dancing for artists I never thought I could even be auditioning for.
So let's go back to how it started, because I have 3 daughters that are going to watch this and be like, well, I'm going to be like Kim. Because like, let's go back to how it started and where you got to. So how do you, like, I'm 45. When I was younger, I lived in Elm Park, and I grew up originally on Sunnybrook, so St. Bernard Park, Coolbrook, sorry, and then Elm Park. And we had little chalets where the kids could take, like, hip hop wasn't a class back then. It was like jazz ballet.
Street jazz.
Yeah. So, but how did you go from there to there? Or
Right.
my hand's off the screen. It's actually really high. But
I mean, how much time do you have? I'll speed it up because it could be a long story. But I started dancing, I was 15. So so that's kind of later than most. You know, a lot of my friends and peers, they were like, you know, they dance before they walk. They were thrown into ballet, tap, jazz, all different styles possible. I started later due to financial situation with my family. It was I have 3 sisters, but one that's right under me started hip hop classes. And I was like, this looks fun. I want to do that. And it totally inspired me. A couple months later, auditioned for that studio. I got in, I was part of a crew for a couple of years. And then, I fell into everything that was like hip hop, new style, commercial, you can call it. And then it was only a few years later when I realized, like, okay, this could possibly be a career if I wanted to. So I need to be versatile. I need to work on different styles. I started, some contemporary, some jazz.
Hold on. Hold on. You started 15. Like, I know we're doing the speed note version of it, but by the way, Kim's actually, her Wi-Fi's been going out. So if we lose her for a second, she's going to pop back on, but it'll take a couple seconds. And when she pops back on, I'll talk to you guys about the Domi trade today for Anderson, or the Canadians and their draft pick that they just picked up. So, but
I'm going to cross my finger. I'm confident.
Yeah, it all happens. So, so, okay. So you're 16 and you're taking your class and you're dancing and you're like, but how do you know you're good? Like, I know it in hockey, in all sports, and this is what you do as a sport still, nonetheless. It's an art, but it still is a skill set in your, maybe not a sport, but I don't know what else to phrase it, but you're going level to level.
Yeah.
Us, we have leagues. How does it work with dancing?
There's level as well. You'll start as a beginner, intermediate, advanced. You get to audition every year and you're put in a new category. And then all of a sudden I'm part of like the biggest team there is. In like the span of a year or two, all of a sudden at that studio, I was in the upper class, like the one group where it's all the teachers in this one group. We don't have an outside teacher. We teach ourselves. So all those, obviously, those bumps, the improvements one after the next was like, okay, I think I'm onto something. I feel really good about it. I'm getting some good compliments. I went with how I felt. I just felt so great. It was not only just like a hobby turned something more, more intense, but just an outlet as like a teenager, somewhere where it's almost like therapy. You get to express, you get to, talk with your body, move around, forget about what's going on in your world as a teenager. And it just felt so good.
Miss Katie Kathleen goes, and that's what makes a well-rounded dancer, learning all the styles of dance. Is there one style that you kind of like? When I was younger, I don't want to say that I brought it, but we had it was breakdancing, and it was used to color on your cardboard, and you'd go to your buddy's house and you bring your cardboard over and you'd breakdance.
Nice.
And it was horrendous. I wish there was tequila when I was younger, because there was tequila, but I just didn't take it. I was just a bad dancer.
Is
But
there
yeah, is there is there a skill set?
that I'm comfortable with the most, or that
Well,
I
like what started you? Like what gave you the confidence
yeah.
to go to do the next thing?
You know, I think it was every little sort of landmark with like we were talking about moving level up, going to a convention, which is like, you know, a 2-day thing during the weekend where you're learning from choreographers from all around the world or from the States, the people you look up to, and being pulled out, being given a scholarship. I was like, okay, there's something there. They're seeing something in me. So obviously that kept me motivated, and I kept pushing towards that. And it was when I was like, and I want to say 18, I went to a convention in Canada. It's called Triple Threat Dance. And this dancer teacher that was there, she owned the company. Her name is Kelly Kono. She has danced with Janet Jackson, Prince, Michael Jackson. I mean, she's done all the icons in the industry. And she's Canadian, but moved to LA, made it out there. And that was, I think, one of my first time that I was like, wait, this is possible. It's not just like, okay, I could possibly make it a career, possibly move to LA. She really became sort of my idol and my example that I can push further. How do I do it? Please guide me. And she was, you know, a mentor, and she helped, and she gave me lots of tools and things that have helped me. So that was definitely a pivotal point in my career.
Max Kretz 66 says wants me to show my dance moves. So, okay, is the broken arm still a thing? Is this still?
I mean, why not? Let's bring it back. Hashtag.
Is that still a thing, or I can't? Can you do that? Can you do this? No. Is that how it works? I can't get it to go all. Mine's broken. Mine needs a little bit of oil.
Yeah.
We talked the other day, and you know, as a hockey player, I grew up. Everyone wants to be Wayne Gretzky or Chris Chelios or you know, Matt Snaslin if you're a Canadiens fan, or Ray Bourque or Eric Lindros. You're in something that we all want to do. We all can't really do. So we just kind of like, who's like a role model you had? Who's like did you have a poster on your wall of Patrick Swayze and nobody puts baby in a corner? Like what was your
Dirty Dancing was definitely up there. I remember watching that movie. I was 4 or 5. And just, that was definitely my first movie being like, wait, dancing is great. I love this. And he's really hot. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely different influences and idols. Kelly Kono, the one I just mentioned, being one. But in terms of artists, Beyonce was always, you know, from when she was in Destiny's Child, I just was drawn to her, what they did, how they danced, what they represented, just powerful women. And then when she, you know, had her own career, I was like, oh gosh, if one day I could just dance for her, that would be great.
Well, and that's where we're going to go with this. So
right.
That was your goal, right? Yeah. Beyonce?
Yep. Yeah, so it took about 6 years in between the first time I auditioned for her to when I actually got booked.
So how do you get audition for Beyonce? Like, can I audition for Beyonce?
Well, so the very first audition I went to, I still lived in Montreal, and I don't know, the word got around. It was an open call audition. So that means you could go if you'd like. You don't have to be represented. You don't have to get like an invitation. It's an open call. And it was happening in New York. So a few friends and I just jumped on a bus, you know, the Greyhound at night, got to New York, waited in the cold for hours and hours. I mean, everyone was there around the corner and the next, you know, like just hundreds of people there ready to audition for her. It went well. I got to the next round, but just green me, not knowing anything. I had already booked my bus back home the next and they were saying like, okay, you're kept, you can stay, the next call is tomorrow. And I was like, but I leave tomorrow morning, I have to go back. Just like young, innocent, didn't know anything. So obviously never got this job. I went back and I never completed this audition. So then fast forward to years later, moving to LA. At that point, I'm like 25, 26. I got seen by her choreographers a couple of times, still nothing. And then all of a sudden there was an audition. That's when, after she had her first baby, she was like, it was her comeback, a full concert called Rebel. And they're auditioning dancers. They're looking for 10. I made it through rounds after rounds. It was like days of learning combos, different routines being put on tape. Beyonce watching them from New York. Okay, keep these people. Make it all the way down to like 13 girls and they were looking for 10. I was like, I felt good. This is it. I was cut. I didn't get picked. I was like, man, okay, all right, I'm going to keep pushing.
How'd you deal with that? How'd you deal with that?
Well, you
Like,
know what?
how'd you deal with, like, I don't want to use the term not cut, but how did you deal with not chosen?
Rejection. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but how do you deal with that? Because, like, a lot of kids get cut from a sports team.
Yeah.
But how did you deal with that?
You know, throughout the years, I realized that I had to change my mentality. And instead of seeing it as like, oh man, I'm not good enough, I need to change my goal, my dream, this is not for me, I just saw every no as a step closer to what I wanted. Like, okay, no for now, but what do I need to work on? Gotcha. I'll be back. Boom. And I kept getting a little closer. There were no's after no's, but I was making progress. And to me, there was no doubt that I was going to just go to my plan B. I had no plan B. I'm in LA. She's the one I want to work with. And so I remember it never being a possibility for it to be impossible. You know, it's just like, you got to keep moving.
Say that again. Say that again.
I don't know what I just said.
It's,
I never
you
thought
said it's an impossibility to
I never
make it
thought it
possible.
would be, I never made it a possibility that it would be impossible. Is that what I said?
I like that. There you go. That's on a t-shirt.
Okay.
There you go. That is awesome. That's a t-shirt. Sell it
Right.
quickly. I'm trademarking that.
Okay.
No. Okay. So
So fast forward to, I'll send her, you know, her single picture. I'm sure everyone will remember it. Or anyways, Beyonce fans, of her with the lines on her cheeks announcing she's doing the Super Bowl in 2013. And that came out, I think, a few months prior to that. And I was like, this is it. Third time's a charm. I've auditioned for her over and over. I feel like this will be for me. And I got a direct call. You are booked. You don't have to audition. We remember you from the other things. Come do the
really?
Yeah, in New Orleans. So dream come true. But mind you, obviously I'm super thrilled and grateful. But my top dream is to tour the world with her. That's what I really wanted. That's what I saw myself doing. So at the Super Bowl, we're rehearsing for 2 weeks straight. And we find out that they're secretly looking around for who they're going to pick to go tour with her in a month. So obviously best behavior, just like putting on the lip and the lashes and doing all the things to get seen and to like really push for it and, you know, hopefully get noticed. And I was kind of lucky. They picked a couple of girls to try different hairstyles on them to see what we would do at the performance. And they're like, Kim, you have long hair. We'll work with you, see what you want, or see what Beyonce wants. So every couple of hours, they do some different hairdo and bring me to Beyonce. So here I am next to her. She's like analyzing me and what I look like. I'm like, okay, well, she's seen me at least. This is good. She can't say she did not see me amongst the 35 girls there. So then the whole thing happens. It went well. We shut down the power, if you remember. After a performance, I go back home to LA, and then I just wait and cross my fingers. Did I make it as one of the like 8, 9 girls that was going to be picked for this tour? And then those 2 weeks passed by. I know rehearsals are about to start in New York. I have heard nothing. My friends have been booked. I know that like the word has gone around. And I remember being on a Skype with my mom and I was like, hey mom, I don't think this is for me. And again, thinking, well, you know what? I'm one step closer. I made one, I got to perform once with hopefully maybe the next tour. Hang up with her right away. I get an email from my agent saying, pack your bags. You leave for New York tomorrow. You're going on a world tour with Beyonce. Turns out, I think she, saw the list and kind of recreated whatever she wanted. I don't know how it was sort of added last minute, but I was, and it was the beginning of my journey with her.
So I'm going to try and be polite here. What I'm trying to think of a phrase that I'd use. How nervous were you the first time, like you're standing in front of Beyonce?
Right.
Like this is someone you've been like your whole goal was to dance with this person, and you finally get brought to them and boom.
Yeah.
I ended up doing a Battle of the Blade, a Depends commercial.
Yes.
Yes, because of how excited I got or nervous that I got when I was put on at that moment.
Yeah.
How were you when you got that first moment with Beyonce? And then how loud did you yell when you found out you were going?
So when I found out, I mean, I jumped around, danced around my living room, called my mom right back. I was
Do you
like,
dance when you get excited?
huh?
Do you dance when you get excited?
Yeah, like bad dancing. I love bad dancing. Just love it. I'll just like wiggle around and it doesn't look so good, but we can do that some other time.
Hold on. So is bad dancing cool? Like if you say bad dancing's cool, I would get street cred because I'm a bad dancer.
Yes, I think it's so cool.
Okay.
But when I
Perfect.
seeing Beyonce for the first time, it was during Super Bowl. We're in the middle of rehearsal. We're learning Crazy in Love, which is like her, you know, epic song back then. The choreo that I learned on my own, you know, on VHS, recording it on the top 6 Much Music, whatever it is, you know, and teaching it to myself. And then all of a sudden here I am in New Orleans for the Super Bowl for Beyonce, learning Crazy in Love from her choreographers. And she walks in and I was just like young teenager me inside is just bad dancing around the living room. And I'm like, and then I'm like, keep it cool. Just keep it cool. This is work. Keep it cool. Because that's the thing. And I get asked that a lot when it comes to, you know, fangirling or, you know, being chummy with the artist that you work for. And there's still like that fine line of I have to be a professional. They don't want fans around. Like I remember at the beginning, and now my friends understand, but at first they would ask me like, get so-and-so's autograph from me.
I know. Yeah. I know.
Like,
I played with Wayne Gretzky, so
right.
I don't mean it in the wrong way, but it's
like,
no.
If you break that wall, then it's not cool.
Right.
You can't do that. You gotta keep it professional. So yeah, I tried to play it cool, but deep down I was like, oh my gosh, Beyonce's right there, pinch me. Yeah, exactly.
So okay, like I don't know how it works. Like you just said, she's kind of your boss a little bit, the way you kind of explained it. Do you and Beyonce have like secret handshakes or like how does it like because you're on stage with her all the time, right? So
she does call me. Her nickname for me is Partition Partner. I don't know if you've seen the Partition video. But we have this scene where there's like leopard print projected on us. We're like in this sort of fake cage. And ever since then, I'm like, oh, you're my partition partner. Come over here. But so when we talk about, you know, A-listers like this with just a huge surrounding and company around them, and she's a mom and she has a family, like, no, we won't like hang out and chill after. I don't have her phone number. There's certain artists that I do. You know, some people that I'll end up texting, hanging out with, connecting with, but I think it depends on where they're at in their life and their career. And so it's really like a case by case thing.
Was Jay-Z ever around back then?
Yeah. And we did my second tour with Beyonce was on the run with Jay-Z. So we got to be on stage, dance with him as well. And yeah, it was great. We always had, there was this moment where he finished in one stair and I went up after and I had a solo. And so we'd always cross each other. So yeah, we always had like this pound moment. Let's go, switch. And then I go up and yeah, exactly.
you and I have one. It's like you and Jay-Z and you and me.
Oh,
it's like,
same thing.
Yeah. So, okay. I had a bunch of questions, but I'm going completely off topic now because I'm loving where this is going. Okay. So is there like a actual, like I've always watched, I was in the choir when I was in grade 11 and, well, it was like the high school choir.
Yeah.
And like we all had to sing, but I wanted to be in the, I wanted to be in the middle. Right. Okay. But they threw me way out in the back. Like way in the back, like almost out the door in the back. Yeah. Is there like a little bit of cattiness as to where you want to be on the stage? Like, is there a little bit of like a little battle about that?
That's a good question. I feel like I've never asked this, but yes.
That's why I'm here.
You can feel that depending on the camp and the dancers and where you're at. I mean, I definitely, even myself, I've put on way more pressure when I was at the beginning, trying to make it and make sure I'm seen and loved. Like, I got to be by the artist. I want that shot on camera. And then you get older and you're like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as you're a part of this big, you know, production and visual, great. But yeah, of course, depending on who the dancer is and who you're with, you can kind of feel that at times, of course. Yeah.
No, but did you ever seriously, I forget what movie it is. Oh my God.
Showgirls. Showgirls.
Yes. Yes. Showgirls. Oh my God. Yes.
No, I never.
I was trying to think of it. She was in like a Showgirl. She was in like an after school comedy, and then she did this movie, the dance movie, where she was spectacular.
Yeah.
But yes, I think she pushes her down the stairs or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
Like,
there's that, and then there's the marbles on stage as well. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
marbles on stage, right? So,
Yeah.
you ever marbles on stage? Anyone?
No.
Did
Not.
anyone ever try marbles on stage? You?
I haven't noticed if they did. It didn't work, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Do you ever? How about this? Is there anyone? Okay, I know you can't say this, and I don't want you to say this. But it's just you and I, and
Okay.
probably my mom watching. But is there any is there a? I know the term is diva that we all get given to them. Any of them, like, you're dancing and you're giving them and you're like doing your
Just like that.
yeah, and they're like going outside of their routine, like not the diva, one of your group, like
Okay.
you all have a routine to do, right?
Yeah.
But one of them takes more space than they should.
Yes and no. I guess no one that I can sort of point out or a moment that I remember, but I mean, it's your job is on the line. That's the thing. It's like when you think of booking a job, dancing for an artist, there's usually an audition process, and then you get picked. And then after that, obviously that artist is usually, if they use dancers once, then they are using them again. Often that's how it works. And so what I try to preach to and teach my dancers and mentees and students is to aim for longevity. So once you do book that job, then everything else counts, and including that, like trying to be the person that's just overdoing it or taking all the space and energy, like it's not a good look, and then you won't get rehired, and there goes your chance with this entire camp forever, maybe. And these choreographers sometimes work with different big artists, and now you just kind of burn a bridge. So you kind of have to be at your best behavior, professional, on time, smart dancer.
Any of the singers you've worked with? I've named three. I went J-Lo, which you were just recently with J-Lo, was the most recent one, right? There was J-Lo, Beyonce. Who would be? No, that's not fair. And how about this? Are any of them? I don't. I want the answer. You're gonna text me after.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're not gonna get that out of me here, but if there are any
divas. Any divas?
I have to be honest that I've been so lucky to work with incredible artists that don't seem to be divas. But I've heard stories from friends with other people. Everyone has their moments. And I've got to say, to be fair on their end, like it's a lot of pressure. They have the spotlight. Sometimes you maybe lack a little confidence, or you're nervous, or you're stressed out. You're not sure what you're doing that night. So, some things may happen, but to be honest, in general, I've had such a great time and just the best people to work with. So
what happens if you miss a step? Do they give you shit, or does someone get mad at you?
If they notice, probably. Yeah. I mean, it happens a lot.
No, probably me. Do they say, Kim, get your head out, like wake up? Like, does that ever happen?
I don't know that it's ever happened to me. Not that I don't make mistakes, I make plenty. I mean, if you're gonna be on tour doing the same show 137 times, you're bound to make a mistake here, and then you're dancing for 2 hours long. Yeah, there are, times that you forget something or you make a mistake. You just have to be really good at playing it off. Don't show it in your face. Just get into freestyling, improvisation, and then back into whatever you're supposed to do. As professional dancers at that caliber, I mean, it barely shows. I feel like in 2 seconds, you are back to what you were supposed to do. But things like slipping and sliding because there's rain on the stage and you fully fall down, and or your outfit rips up and all of a sudden you got to finish off holding your top. Like those things you don't cover very well, and those are noticed, but it's no one's fault.
Well, I wasn't going to throw that question in, but now I will. Have you ever had a Janet Jackson Super Bowl Timberlake moment?
Right. A lot. I feel like I wouldn't be able to pinpoint when, but yes, it's happened before that I've had to hold my bra. But more recently, I think one that was like a bit of a struggle is we're starting the concert with Beyonce. We're doing this song called End of Time, and it's super epic. It's just her and 4 of us, and it's our silhouettes, and people are screaming. There's like this long dead sort of moment for people to here. The energy is on. We're getting ready to start. The first move is like a stomp with our feet on the ground. As soon as I stomp, my heel, just the heel part, flips off of my heel boot.
Oh boy.
And it's gone. And I have to start and do this entire number with one boot that's just off and is missing a heel, and it's full out dancing and like some African influences, and like it was hard, and you kind of just have to laugh and do your best.
You look back at some of your moments, which would be like, I love Beyonce. I love J-Lo. I love like all these singers that okay. Add a few more to the list. I know. So you started off in Montreal.
Yeah.
You sang with a lot of francophone singers.
Yeah.
Who are some in Quebec that you started with, and then who are some at the next level worldwide that you work with?
Yeah. Some of the people I work in Quebec with are Rachid Badouri, Marie-Mé, Véronique Dicker, René Simard, Eve. So those are some of the singers that I work with here. Then I did Sean Desmond, did a few things with him. And then
Sean Desmond.
Yeah. and then I did So You Think You Can Dance Canada, which is kind of like was my diving board, ready to jump into the States after that. It really helped me with getting a work visa, because I don't know if you know this, but you 2% back in your country, which is ridiculous, but that's how they reward it. And so doing So You Think You Can Dance Canada was kind of like a stamp of like, okay, well, she's auditioned amongst all these dancers around the country. She was picked. She made it to the top 8. Let's give her visa. So then I moved to LA, and then the first artists that I started working with are Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls. Do you know?
Sure.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
beautiful,
Pussycat Dolls for
super
sure.
talented.
Yeah.
She's just incredible. I still work 9 years of friendship and workship, and she's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Songs right now.
Then I got. You're trying to picture her?
No, I'm trying to think of this. I'm so on a song right now.
Song?
You said the Pussycat Dolls, and I'm trying to think of the song. In my head, the only song that I have is "Never Gonna Get It, Never Gonna Get It, Never Gonna Get It, Never Gonna." That's not the Pussycat Dolls, though, right? That's
No.
That's
No. They did "Don't You Wish Your
Don't Ya.
Girlfriend Was Hot."
Yeah.
They
no,
also
you guys right.
"Loosen Up My Buttons" with Snoop Dogg. They have a bunch of hits. Super fun songs.
Yeah, no, I remember. I remember. That's too funny. So, is your Wi-Fi still holding in? By the way, you're 33 minutes into it, where we were supposed to lose you a while ago.
It's impressive.
And Vogue was the song that I was thinking of. Thanks, somebody named a Fathead Photo.
Yes,
Yes, I know. So now you're at this level, and do you take a moment or a day and ever just digest it and be like, this is like, do you think there's a next level to go to, or what is your dancing with all these superstars? Is there a higher goal, or is there an out you plan, or what's your mentality when you're at that level?
It's interesting because there aren't really any tiers. This industry is very humbling. I'm going to say that, because you can be, one day you're on tour with the biggest world, and the next you might be working this, private bar mitzvah with some glow. And that's what your job is. So it's like.
And I just jinxed it. I was just saying that we weren't going to lose her, but we actually left her, and she's off. She'll be come back in a couple seconds, as I kind of told you guys in advance, that she's having some trouble with her Wi-Fi. But how crazy is that? Like, I love Beyonce. Like, I used to love Beyonce. Music videos, you come home after school, and you just, that's what we had when we were younger. And now it's just so easy to watch anything on your phone. I'll take 2 seconds while she's trying to get back on. And a lot of people jumping on. yeah, she's awesome. She's what a beautiful human being as well. That's the one good thing. You forget about how great these people are and how down to earth they are as well. She's back already, which we won't get on the hockey till after. And she's back. The Josh Anderson Max Domi trade I'll talk to you guys a little bit about after. I love the trade. Oh, she's back already. I thought it was going to be like a 3-4 minute of you not coming back.
Do you want me to wait? I can leave and
No,
come back.
no, not at all. No one gives a crap about me. They're like, oh, tell me about Beyonce. Oh, tell me about J-Lo. Actually, who's a better dancer, J-Lo or Beyonce?
Oh, that's a tough one. They're both incredible. Did you know that J-Lo danced for Janet before she became
Yes,
like
yeah. And yeah.
They're both incredible. They're seriously so talented, versatile. I mean, J-Lo does all these crazy lifts and partners like crazy. Beyonce will jump in. She'll come into rehearsal and just watch us do it again. Okay, do it again. Okay, cool. I got it. Gets up and then does it. And you're like, what? How did you just watch that sitting down in reverse and now you can do it with us? Just incredible.
Who's the most talented entertainer you've been with?
They're both definitely up there, just powerhouses. I got to work with Justin Timberlake once and just absolutely loved my time with him. He's such a gentleman, such a just respectful artist, was all about making sure we were good. And, on top of like the creation process that he's like a part of it from A to Z. Such a cool guy. Sent us, wine and a personal note to thank us for what we did. Just like above and beyond. You would think that these, top people that have so much more to think about don't make that time, but he sure does. And that was incredible. Who else? Christina Aguilera is someone I work with a lot. And she, puts on a show and can sing. And, all her choreos are so fun to do. I just love getting to work with her too.
Not to say that we have the same friends, but when I was playing for the Rangers back in the day, I was 23 at the time. And we used to have a guy that was repping Budweiser. And most of our players were in their 30s. This was back before the salary cap and rules were all different. We had a lot of older players, and there was like 5 of us in our 20s. And the Budweiser rep would always come and be like, hey, guys, I got a table at this event tonight. Who wants to come? And they're all like, PJ. Like, I was single living in a hotel room by myself, and everyone else was married or with girlfriends or whatever.
Right.
So this one particular night, they're like, PJ, we got this. It's one of the top bars in New York at the time. And like, PJ, we got this night. Actually, we're bringing a couple of Dallas Stars. We're playing that night. We're bringing a couple of Dallas Stars over as well. And I got this band that's going to come with us as well. Do you want to come? And I'm like, my option is go back to my hotel room and watch the 3 channels that they had, as we didn't have all this Netflix and every other TV show downloading. And we just watched the 3 channels that you had in your hotel room. Cell phones were just coming out. Internet was wonky, but still. Anyway, so I'm like, sure. So I get there, and we limo there. We walk in, and the 2 players are, I don't know if you Brett Hall and Mike Modano, which are 2 of the biggest names in the game at the time. And the band is in sync.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, and I'm like, we're like sitting around chugging beers with NSYNC, and here I am. I don't know who I'm more. I didn't really know much about NSYNC because they were just starting out.
Right.
Justin was too young to bring into the bar, but as I've watched people, like I like to say, I drop it as if I hung out with NSYNC. I try not to tell everyone Justin wasn't there part, but everyone makes fun of me. But when I talk about, I've had the luxury of going to a lot of concerts and meeting a lot of people. One of the one concert that stands out, like I wrote for Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, my buddy Sam Roberts, Dropkick Murphys. There's a lot of amazing concerts, but when I think entertainment value wise, and this one, it's almost like you can't say that, but NSYNC was unbelievable as a concert, and not so much them, but that Justin Timberlake, when he was young, you knew that he was going to be an absolute star. Yeah. And so I want to say we're in the same world, kind of. He didn't get to come out, but I hung out with Chris Fitzpatrick and the other guys in the band, but he's one of the guys at the top that I'd always love to everything about him. So, and it's great to hear you had good things to say about him.
Yeah, and they're all great. I got to work in sync with the rest of the group when I did Coachella with Ariana last year, and she had NSYNC as guest performers, and they were all so sweet. So just
Yeah,
much
just good
older
people.
and super fun.
Okay, In Sync, New Kids on the Block, or Backstreet Boys. If you could dance with one of them,
Yeah.
which one?
Yeah. Well, so I did get to dance with NSYNC, and I actually got to work with the Backstreet Boys during their concert that they had to put on pause now. If you ever get to see it, I'm on behind them, just kind of dancing around and thing. So I guess I'm just missing New Kids on the Block.
How do I get dancing on the big screen behind everybody?
I don't know. Let's try to arrange that.
I showed you my arm thing, and are you a hockey fan at all?
I don't know much about hockey, to be honest.
Yeah,
Very
that's
first
fair.
boyfriend was a hockey player, but yeah, we gotta hang out more.
Yes,
Me.
yes, totally. I could give you all the. I'm just gonna give 10 seconds of the hockey trade, just so I can make sure I get this in. Yeah.
Yes.
So I know a lot of people are getting texts, and I have some buddies going in that Canadians made a trade today. I'm giving this to you as well. This is my inside scoop. But Josh Anderson for Max Filming the third, and why you should be interested about this trade is that Canadians had to deal with a player that had 2 years ago at 70 points, and last year was not a great hockey player and kind of inconsistent at times. And the deal was they had to pretty much sign him to a contract of what he was 2 years ago or sign him to what he was this year. And I think they were concerned that he was going to be this year's player moving forward. So they alleviated the problem by moving him to Columbus. And what do they get? They bring back a big body, exactly someone they needed on the right-hand side named Josh Anderson. They gave up a third-round pick as well, but Josh scored 27 goals 2 years ago and had a bad year this year. He has to be signed as well. So they get rid of a guy who doesn't want to play in Domi, that doesn't want to play wing anymore, but the Canadians have Suzuki, KK, and Dano as their 1, 2, 3. So he only fits in as 4 as a winger, and he doesn't want to play wing. So the best opportunity for him is to move on somewhere else, and they bring back an absolute bona fide winger that can score a bunch and is a big body. So I just had to add that in for 2 seconds. I just wanted to throw that in at you. So that's I could have gone on a little bit more, but we're on to the dancing. So let's go. Okay, all these experiences you've had, everyone you've danced with. Now you've taken all those experiences and you're doing something to help a lot of young people today. You're opening up a platform, a mentorship platform.
Yeah.
So tell me about this.
It's called the Kim Gingras Experience. So basically, it's me sharing all of my experience. I want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly in this industry. I want dancers to feel prepared. I know there are so many questions. I've been receiving them, via DM or emails for the past couple of years on like, how do I, get noticed in an audition? How do I find an agency or representation? How can I make a living out of it? How do I, move to the States? How do I get a work visa? All these questions. And there's really not much information out there for people to find that. So I figured I would create a platform, a program. It's a 3-month mentorship where we have group conversation plus one-on-one, and I really help them. I meet them where they're at. We figure out what their goals are. We get specific, and then I help them with a plan of action as to how to get there. And I really love to also talk about the mental aspect of things. It's something that's huge to me. So I basically give all my sort of tools and tricks that have helped me get to where I am today. So this is like working on self-confidence, self-worth, having a support system around you, being a smart professional dancer, working on your branding and networking, all those sort of outside of the dance studio tools that you need to get to where I'm at.
Do you give any in-dance studio information?
I do. Yeah, I do. I don't have private, like actual physical dancing, especially at the moment. Via Zoom is not like my favorite. But I do give master classes. So I'll go to different studios, teach, 30 to 50 people, or go to conventions, teach 200, 300 dancers. But my privates at the moment are very much centered around, let's get you ready. What's your plan of action? What's your master plan? What do you need to know? Let me answer all your questions and we'll get you ready.
what would you say is, my brother-in-law's on there, Dean Pack, talking, just complimenting you on your great advice all around. What would you say to a young person is, I mean, you mentioned a lot, but which would be the most important thing to learn or to work on as a kid?
Obviously, yeah, if you want to be a professional dancer, you know, obviously you can't go around not being a really good dancer. So
I think there she went again. Anyways, so yeah, she got back. She's just here quickly. Back to the trade. Really quick, I think the Canadians did really well in this. They got a right size winger. Domi was a question mark that he can't really. He had a mediocre season last year, and he sulked a lot and didn't want to play on the wing. If you want your team to be successful, you got to play anywhere, and he wouldn't do that. So it puts the coach in a difficult position, and they decided to move him. And I don't know what to pay him either. So I think it's a good move by both sides. And same idea. He only had 4 points this year, Josh Anderson, and he comes back, and who knows what they have to sign him for. But both players have to be signed. So yeah, two. That's your 2 times. We thought it'd be twice. So there it is. So yeah. So start over. So what is the one thing? What do you think? What is that most important quality or characteristic, or what would you teach? My kids are watching. So I got from 18, 16, 14, 12, about to be 13, which are important ages. What should I be teaching them?
So, I mean, if we're talking to dancers, obviously we can't go train in different styles and be good dancers, but let's talk in general.
Yeah.
What I love to talk about and what
I can teach some dancing. I can teach some dancing.
Yeah.
Like I can. Don't worry about your.
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Check. Okay. But what I love to talk about is that little voice that we all have inside, that, you know, the way we talk to ourselves, the way I'll say, you know, we could be our worst enemy. I'll say, Kim, you sucked. This wasn't good. You're never going to get picked. You're not that good. You're not enough. I mean, we all do it. I'm sure it happens to you as well. Like we start ourselves. No, never.
I get it every day from all the other voices in my house. It's not in my head.
Right.
I get it from my kids. You suck. No, you suck. No, you. Thanks, everybody.
So it's about training that voice. And I think it hit me when I moved from Montreal to LA. And then I went from auditioning with maybe 30 of my friends here in Montreal. Auditions were small. We knew everyone. It was fun. It was a cool vibe. I get to LA. I have to start right back at zero at 26. I feel like I'm a grandma dancing with 17, 18-year-olds. And all of a sudden you go to an audition and there's like 800 dancers and they're booking 2. Like this is like, now you are playing with the big people. And they do this thing when they call the typecast. If there's too many people, you don't want to waste everyone's time in the audition. It would take 2-3 days to run everyone. So they have you do a typecast, which is you're lining up everyone shoulder to shoulder in the room. And then the choreographer, whoever's casting, is going to walk by everyone, look you up and down. So it doesn't matter if you're smart, great, talented, funny. They don't know you. They just look you up and down based on what you look physically. They whisper in your ear, please stay, or thank you, which means you go. And so, which is, you know, as much as it's hard, we love that part because it doesn't waste your time. If you're not what they were looking for physically, you're too small, too short for the artist, you're gone. But that said, it can be hard on confidence. You know, I'm this grown, mature person at this point, moving, feel like I've done so much out here in Montreal. I'm good to go. I know myself. I get there. And then you start questioning yourself again. I'm standing in those lines. Or is my hair okay? Why did I do my makeup this way? So it's about that little voice, and it's training it every day for it to compliment you. It needs to be your best friend. You would never talk to your best friend that way. Like, you suck. You're not enough. You're never going to get this job. Or else, if it is, please change best friend. But, you know, so you need to train that voice. It needs to be compliments in the morning when you leave here, journal gratitude and what you love about yourself. An affirmation each day. You're alone. Like, you're awesome. You're going to kill it today. Just that little constant reminder every day is you unlearning those conditioned, you know, social condition. You are comparing yourself. you didn't get enough likes on Instagram, you're not getting good comments, like all of that. If you're solid within, if that voice is your main cheerleader and it champions you all the time, then this won't hit you as hard. And I think that's so important in whatever career you want to go in and whatever that you're on and whatever goal you have for yourself. Cheer yourself on like you're your best cheerleader, you're your best friend, and you'll be unstoppable.
It's not bad. That's
Not bad.
very well. Yeah, that's very well said. What's next
Yeah.
for Kim Gingras? That was beautifully
You know,
said.
thank you. You know, everything performance-wise, concert-wise, that's all on hold. We don't know when that'll start again. So I'm just bathing and enjoying this mentorship program, and I do a bunch of one-on-one as well. And I just love being able to give back to the next generation. So that's my focus at the moment. I'm also getting more into public, which is something I'm excited about. Again, just kind of talking about those life lessons and lessons with artists. And so hopefully I can inspire some people and motivate them and to, you know, talk to their best friend in their heads. And yeah.
So hypothetically, we have a dance off in like time, like not like now, because
Okay.
in time. If you had to pick a song, what's your favorite dance video of all time?
Oh man, I don't know that I have one. This is hard. I mean,
Not when you were in. How about that?
yeah. Not that I was
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't thinking that. But just like, you know, all of Michael's and Janet's and even growing up, J-Lo inspired me, Christina,
Yeah.
Britney Spears for everything that's more commercial.
Sure.
Pop. Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
My God. Christina, it's so funny. It's so funny what videos have become from what they used to be to what they are today. Like it is, I mean, I remember the Madonna video. We're going to wrap this up in like 10 seconds, but we're the Madonna video, Like a Prayer, they couldn't show it till after 9 p.m. because I think she did this a little bit, or no, it was that and touching the priest or sorry.
Yeah. She was epic.
Jesus statue. Yeah. It was crazy. Like it couldn't show till now. It's like if it's not shown by 9 a.m. There's something completely wrong. It's just
Right.
the whole world's completely different. Is music coming? Will we be seeing concerts again? And will we be seeing you dancing soon again?
Dancing around, yes, like commercials, Paul Expire, I just did one, you see me there. So I think individual stuff doesn't require a bunch of dancing on a main stage. Because when it comes, I don't know about full concerts and festivals, I don't see it happening until like end of 2021, maybe. To be honest, we'll see. Crossing my fingers, because obviously I feel like entertainment and dance and, you know, these shows bring so much joy to everyone. So I hope they come soon.
Well, I hope it does too. And thank you so much for tonight. You're awesome. Like it's so much fun. Just
Thank you.
what's one song if I have to pick tonight to dance to after I get off and talk to my voice in my head? What song would it be?
Stronger, Christina Aguilera.
Okay, good song. Good video. Good song. Stronger. All right, the great, beautiful Kim Gingras. Thanks so much for everything.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.